Okay, welcome back to the video lecture series on Python programming. So we were looking at a few problems and how to work out the solution to the problems using Python. Now we have seen 3 of those problems. Now let's look at a couple of more, right? So the next problem that we are going to look at is we'll take a set of words as inputs, and the words, when we are inputting them, we should give the words separated out by white spaces. And then what we will do are two things. One is we will simply create the word, a list of elements, okay, with the individual words, with two things. One is the words need to be sorted in a alphanumeric way. Second, the words should be deduplicated so that there is no duplicate in the words. Okay, so let's try to achieve that with the Python program. Okay, so before we go into the solution, just one quick thing that I wanted to mention is when we do any new notebook, work out any new notebook, we should try to give a name to that notebook which is meaningful. Say, for example, we are now doing some assignments, so we just call it out as an assignment, but at the same time, we might do multiple assignments. So just give a dash and today's date. So 01 dash uh, October, so 10, 2020, right? So this kind of gives me that these are the assignments which I have done on 1st October 2020, right? So you should do that so that you can keep a track of the different notebooks that you create. Second thing is, say for example, I have already shown you that how to create the new code blocks by doing this plus code in the Google Colab. Same way, if you do a plus text, you can put in some specific texts. Okay, so you want to write certain things, not as a part of the code comment, but just as a header or something. Say, for example, I want to write here, this is another problem. So I'm just wanting to write some note or whatever, and I will keep this as bold. Okay, so I can do that. So for that, you use the plus text. Okay, and then again we can go to another plus code. So see here, this is the text. This is another problem. This has been printed out. So we can go to a new code block and start with the coding for the new problem. Okay, so we first start with the input, right? So we need to take the input, and the inputs are going to be the different words separated by white space. So blank space. So we take the strinp is equal to input, and then we mention it as, we give the prompt, enter the set of words with spaces in between. Okay, so I'm just prompting this, and then once I get this, I'll simply do what, I will have to split them, right? As I had done, I mean, this one we have to split. So what we can do, we can use the split function, right? So we will split that and save it into a variable. So var1 is equal to strinp dot split. Okay, so this is something we see, and then let's try to see what is the value that we are getting. So let's take a step-by-step approach. So we will see what value we are getting here, and we will basically use the same line that is being used here. Okay, so let's do that. So I will put this here, and this is the split which has happened. It has created a list. Just let me check whether it is really a list or something different. So how can we do that? We can simply use the type function and find out the type of the object, right? So let's see the type of the object var1 also, right? So we again put in this thing and we will get this. So we are getting this as a list object, right? List data type object. So now What can I do? I can apply to sort this. If I want to get it sorted, what I can do? I can simply write var1 dot sort, right? If I do that, I should get the sorted list. Let's see what is coming out. No, it is not sorting like this. So what can we use? Because we want to sort a set of elements which are strings. So what function can we use here? So let's do that. I mean, as we have seen, we can use the sorted function and then give the variable as a argument of the sorted function, right? So we use the sorted function. Let's see whether that works here. I mean, that should definitely work. So yes, that is actually working. So we get the list of words with the sorting done. But still there is one problem here. The deduplication is not being done, right? Deduplication has to be done still. So what for that, what we can do is we can use the set function, right? So how do we use the set function? We simply here itself, we first do this, apply the set function, which will do the deduplication, and then we apply the sorted function. Okay, so then we apply the sorted function. Are we having the right number of parentheses? Yes, now I have it. So let's see what we get now. Yes, this has taken care of it. So what did we do? We first applied the set function to do a deduplication of the words. Okay, and then we applied the sorted function to sort them, right? And then we got the sorted out list. So what we can basically do is put that in a different variable. So var sorted underscore deduplicated, right? So that we do as we put in here. So we put in here and then we put a print on the sorted and deduplicated. So if we do that, we will get the same thing again, but let's do it in a very clean way, right? So we do that, we put in the set of words and we are getting a deduplicated and sorted out string. Now I have a question here. Say, for example, I don't have this sorted function, set function, right? If you want to write the duplication removal function ourselves, how can I do that? Again, it's a very trivial thing. I need to write a custom function to remove the duplicates, right? So for example, I will have to define the function. So let me name the function as remove duplicates, right? And take a variable as input. Okay, so let me name it as a little different. So var underscore dupes. So variable with duplicates, right? And then what we do is we first declare a blank list. Okay, so fin or rather dedupe underscore list is equal to, I just declare a blank list. What I would do is I'm going to take, I have taken the set of words as inputs, right? So what I will do is I will loop through each of the elements. So for say something, say obj, each of the objects in var loops. Okay, so it will just go through each of the elements, and then I will do a check if obj not in the dedupe list. So already if the dedupe list is not having this obj, that particular word, then what it will do is it will simply put it into the dedupe list. So dedupe list dot append, and then we will put in the obj. Fine. So this is being done. Now what I should do is I should simply return the dedupe list, dedupe underscore list. Fine. So this is done. Now what I will do is say this split is being done, right? So after that, I will call this function remove dupes. Okay. So what I will do is remove dupes, and I will put it in a var2 is equal to remove dupes, and here I will pass in the var1, which is the splitted words, right? And then var2 I will put it as a part of this sorted function, right? So this will take care. So first I'm declaring the remove dupes function, remove the duplicate words. Then I'm going to call the so I'm going to split the sentence into different words. Then I'm going to run the remove dupes function on the splitted sentence. So basically it's a list of words. And then once that is being done, the deduplication is being done, then we will sort that list and finally print it. So let's again run this thing, and it should give us the same result if we are coding it rightly. So let's see. So no, there is a small problem which is thrown here. And what is the objection this guy has? Oh, I'm sorry. Here the name is not given in the right way. I have missed this U. No problem. I will run it again. And this time I think we should get the result. Yes. So we are getting the same result. So in only thing is I'm not using the default set function of Python. I'm simply creating my own function, right? So this is how you can write a very simple function, simple program to take a set of words as input and then deduplicate and sort those words. Okay. Now let's go to the next problem. So I will take again a set of a sentence with some words, the words as well as some digits as inputs, and I will give the total count of letter in the words and the total count of digits. Okay, so that will be given as the output. Okay, so let's see how we can work that out. So basically again we will do the same thing. We will just do a plus code to add a new code block. Okay. So basically we are going to take the input first. I mean, as we have done earlier also. So let me just copy paste this line. There's no point in writing the same line again and again. So I'm just doing that. Then what do I need to do? I have to find out the number of letters and the number of digits, right? So what I will do is I'll have to basically traverse the string which has been entered character by character. So let me write a loop for um, letter in str underscore inp. Okay, so for each of the letters in str underscore inp, and then we are going to write the body of the loop. So I'm going to first check if letter dot is alpha. So it is going to check whether it's an alphabet or not. And then if that is so, what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically just have a character counter, right? So char underscore counter, and I'm going to increment that by 1 if it is a letter, right? So that's the first thing I'm going to do. And if that is not so, if it is a digit, then the next thing I have to check is elif. Okay, elif letter dot is digit. So is it a digit or not? That also I'm going to check. And I am going to do a digit counter. Digit counter. So plus equals 1. But one thing I have to note here is char counter and digit counter needs to be initiated, because otherwise if I am trying to simply go and assign a value in the part of the as a part of the loop, then it is going to throw an error. I cannot do that. So I have to initialize that with a value. So now we are done. What we can do is I can just come out, print, then simply give number of letters is equal to, and then I just mention the value here, so char counter. Okay, and the same way I can print the number of digits. Okay, so basically I give number of digits is equal to digit counter. Okay, and I should have the thing done, right? So let me run it. I am prompted to give some there. So this is 1 2 3, 1 to 2. Okay, this is 1 to 2. Okay, so what should be the number of characters here? 1 2 3 4 5 6, 6 characters and 3 digits. Let's see. Yes, the number of letters is 6 and the number of digits is 3. So this is again a simple program we can write to count the digits and the characters for a given string. Okay. So now we're going to look at the last problem, which is basically we are going to look at the problem to write a program to find the last term of a Fibonacci series, uh, for which we are giving the number of terms as an input. Okay, so we know that Fibonacci series, right? It's basically like it starts with a 0, then 1, or some people start with 1. So 1 1, then 1 plus 1 2, then 1 plus 2 3, then 3 plus 2 plus 3 5, 3 plus 5 8. So basically last two terms add and you get the next term, right? That is the Fibonacci series for you. Now we have to write a program to uh, find the last term of the Fibonacci series, given the input being the number of terms that you want to consider. Okay, so this is how we have to, this is what we have to find out. So let's see the code. So here there is only one small difference that we are going to see from the other. This is going to be a recurrence function, I mean recursion function, as we know. But at the same time, there's a little bit of a difference from the other recursion functions, right? So let's try to write it. So as we know, for a recursion function, we have to say we write the function as Fibonacci. Okay, Fibonacci, and we take the term as the input. So n term. Okay, so that we take as the input. Now, as we know, we have to write a base case and the recursion case. Now, base case, in this case, there are going to be two base cases. One, when we are talking about the first term, that is n is equal to 1, we have to return a 0. We cannot do the calculation because last two terms don't exist at that point of time. At the same time, when we give the n is equal to 2, so second term, then also we don't have the last two terms. Okay, we just have last one term. Then we have to return a 1. So the first term is 0, second term is 1. Those two terms we have to return as the base cases. So what do we have to do? If n term is equal to 1, so we are talking about the first term, then we have to return 0. Simple. Elif, right? Elif, if it is equals to 1, sorry, equal to 2. So basically we are talking about the second term, right? Or when we are giving just two terms to be sent back. So then we have to return what? 1. So 0, 1. For all other cases, we are just going to call the Fibonacci series back again, but in a little different way. So else, what should I do? Simply, I should write Fibonacci and then n term minus, sorry, I have to write a return. So return n term minus 1 and n term plus n term minus 2, right? So this is what we have to do. Now, we have to call the Fibonacci series. So first let's take the input, the integer or the number, the term up to which, or the term for which we want to see the Fibonacci series for. So we will take that as the input. So int term is equal to, we have to typecast int input. Okay, enter the term. Okay, so this is what we are going to do, and then when that is being done, we will simply call the function. So print what? Fibonacci, yeah, and then we will give int underscore term. That's it, right? So if I give 5 as an input, it will give me the last term, the value of the last term, right? So let's run it and see what is coming out. There is one small mistake which is there in the code, and that is the beauty of Python. You can face the mistake and immediately correct it. Again, I can see one more mistake, so I'll just give a random and come out, because I can see here there is one small problem. Okay, so again I will run it. So now I will give a 5 and see what comes out. It gives a 3. It gives me a 3. But I think if I give a 5, 3 is not the right answer which it is returning. So what is the problem we need to figure out? So if I just try to write it out, let's check whether it's correct or not. So first term will be 0, no problem. Second term is going to be 1, right? So 0 plus 1, third term is going to be again 1. So fourth term is going to be 1 plus 1, 2. And the fifth term is going to be 1 plus 2, 3. So we are fine. There is no problem at all. Let's try with some more numbers, okay? So let's try with an input of, say, 8. Okay, let's see what is coming out. 13. I think it is perfectly fine. So 3, then we have 5, then have 3 plus 5, 8, and then we have 8 plus 5, 13. So eighth term is going to be 13. So we are fine. So I think we have covered some good examples of solving problems in Python using the basic concepts of iterators, conditionals, and the functions, right? So in the next lecture, we are going to start a very interesting thing, a very interesting concept of Python, which is the libraries, the major libraries of Python. Okay, so stay tuned. Thank you very much.